A lot of hard work, but also a lot of fun. And I have an awesome team that is trying to put my weird words that I say into a shoe, which is great because I'm like, I want the thing that goes the thing, and then they're like, okay, we got it.
Could A'ja Wilson's unchecked privilege be at the heart of the Las Vegas Aces' rapid descent? From championship glory to chaos, this offseason is one for the books. The Aces, once the queens of the WNBA, now face mass exits, internal strife, and a crumbling reputation. But what role did Wilson's star power play in all this?
Come on, Andy, you know the question for that. You know the answer for that.
Wilson's high-profile Nike deals and winning isn't for everyone commercials scream privilege, especially after the Aces' humiliating playoff loss and low ratings. While she basked in her own spotlight, the team's unity splintered. The offseason isn't just about restructuring, it's about survival. With top staff already gone, internal tension rising, and rumors of more departures, the franchise faces an uncertain future. Fans can't help but wonder, is Wilson's reign and the culture it fostered what's truly tearing the team apart? From off-court arrogance to on-court failures, one thing is clear: the Aces are at a crossroads. And if this is just the beginning, what comes next could change everything. Before we break it down, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Are you ready? Let's go.
So it's very interesting to see the creative minds behind the project, but it's been tons of fun, and I think it's uniquely to me because it's a shoe that can do a lot. It's a versatile shoe.
A'ja Wilson's latest Nike event was meant to crown her as basketball royalty, and in many ways it did, but perhaps not in the way she anticipated. Showcasing her signature shoe, the A1, at a high-profile event, Wilson's moment screamed privilege. While other players, such as Caitlin Clark, waited in line or saw their launches postponed, Wilson's spotlight was never dimmed. The message? Wilson's stardom took precedence. What made this moment even more jarring was the timing. The Aces had just stumbled out of the playoffs, falling to the New York Liberty in a loss that was more than embarrassing. It was defining. Ratings plummeted, and the once dominant team's reputation took a hit. But there was Wilson, shining on stage as if her commercials weren't now the punchline to jokes. Winning isn't for everyone. The irony was palpable. This wasn't just a marketing gimmick. It was a reflection of how the Aces prioritized their image. Wilson's privilege seemed to seep into the very fabric of the team's culture, where ego came before cohesion. Clark, meanwhile, was breaking records with humility, drawing massive crowds, and proving that true leadership combines talent and selflessness. Her relentless drive to uplift her team and community contrasted sharply with Wilson's me-first attitude.
That's the reason that you play. It's not because of the wins and the points you score. It's the amount of joy that you can bring people and the young girls that will one day grow up to hopefully, be whatever they want to be and get to talk about those moments too.
The disparity was undeniable and raised questions about the Aces' focus. Was it about winning or simply showcasing their star? The public noticed. Social media buzzed with comparisons, highlighting Wilson's showmanship next to Clark's substance.
I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to be the best. I get y'all saying best player in the world. That's great. It looks great. But I want to be the best person. I want to be the best teammate because that's how I get the best out of my team.
But this wasn't just a fluke. It was part of a pattern. Wilson's privilege, once a badge of her star status, was beginning to look like an emblem of the Aces' deeper problems. With a team culture that seemed to glorify individual fame over unity, was it any wonder that cracks were starting to show? As Wilson reveled in her spotlight, the Aces' internal struggles deepened. Fans wondered, was this just one of many moments leading to their downfall? The answer might lie not in future games, but in the decisions and attitudes off the court. And if this was only one chapter, the rest of the story could shake the WNBA to its core. If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. We know watching this video takes some of your time, and we appreciate you. Now back to the action.
Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, it's not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, she's good at basketball, awesome. But, she understands her privilege. It's what pushes her over the top, in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you. And I mean, that's a compliment.
While A'ja Wilson's privilege was showcased on the grand Nike stage, the real drama unfolded behind closed doors. The Aces, who once paraded through seasons with unmatched confidence, found themselves facing an offseason riddled with uncertainty.
It seemed like A'ja Wilson was diminishing the accomplishments of players like Kelsey Plum and Paige Beckers and someone who is her teammate. It felt like she was giving Kelsey Plum a backhanded compliment. And a lot of people, Aces fans, WNBA fans, Kelsey Plum fans, across the board really had a problem with this video, and it really left a sour taste in their mouth.
General Manager Natalie Williams, once celebrated for her role in the Aces championship runs, was the first major casualty, removed under the guise of front office restructuring. Fans didn't buy it, suspecting deeper fractures within the team. The shock wasn't just that Williams was gone. It was the looming possibility of Coach Becky Hammon stepping into a dual role, head coach and general manager, like her mentor Greg Popovich did with the Spurs. But could one person manage such responsibilities in the midst of chaos? Rumors of discord were only bolstered by Hammon's own words after their playoff exit. This team will not look the same in 2025.
We have to get better. We have to really take a sharp look at ourselves, look ourselves in the mirror, see our shortcomings, and then, you got to make the moves necessary, whatever that means, to put the best product that we possibly can. It's not going to be the same group probably next year. It just won't. And I'm sad about that because I really like that group. They were a pain in my ass, but I was a pain in their ass too.
Prophetic, to say the least. Internal tension bubbled up, with players and staff looking at the franchise not as a cohesive unit, but as a stage for individual stardom. And Wilson's privileged status was a lightning rod for the growing discontent. Wilson's privilege didn't just affect her image, it rippled through the entire franchise. To some, she embodied the confidence that led to victories. To others, she symbolized the unchecked ego that fractured team unity. As the Aces faced this turmoil, questions about their future grew louder. Could they rebuild unity and recapture their former glory? Or were they destined for a complete identity crisis? And as 2025 approached, the idea of a mass exit loomed large, threatening to leave the Aces not as champions but as cautionary tales.
What is going on in their locker room? Like, this Aces team is falling apart. This is not a coach that I would want to play for.
The 2025 offseason for the Las Vegas Aces isn't just about recovering from a playoff upset. It's about bracing for potential departures that could gut the team's roster. The most glaring issue: Kelsey Plum. The explosive guard, known for her offensive power and fan-favorite status, has chosen not to extend her contract, setting up a path to unrestricted free agency. For a team already grappling with uncertainty, Plum's decision signaled something deeper, a shift from loyalty to self-preservation. If Plum, a cornerstone player, is willing to walk, what does that say about the atmosphere within the Aces? Adding to the pressure are rumors swirling around veterans Alicia Clark and Tiffany Hayes. Clark, respected for her experience and leadership, and Hayes, who had previously come out of retirement to boost the Aces, now seem poised to consider their options as free agents. Hayes' situation stings the most. After being convinced to unretire and join the Aces, seeing her reconsider her position underscores how rocky the ground has become. These potential exits paint a picture of a team where commitment has been replaced by hesitation.
The whole league has been pissed off for the last 8 months, and my players are in commercials and this and that and being freaking celebrities, and you get distracted.
But what's driving this shift? Look no further than Coach Becky Hammon's sharp critique during the season. In a now infamous press conference, Hammon called out her players for acting like celebrities instead of focusing on the game. The comments weren't just pointed, they were prophetic. And for fans, there was no mistaking who might have inspired such criticism. Wilson's status as the face of the franchise, bolstered by high-profile endorsements and media praise, cast a shadow that some players found suffocating. The infamous sideline confrontation between Hammon and Plum during the playoffs symbolized the tension perfectly. Captured on camera, it showed a team in turmoil, with even the brightest stars not immune to the fallout of an egocentric culture. For a franchise that had built its brand on unity and relentless competitiveness, the scene was more than a blip. It was a sign of deeper fractures.
Everybody can be good here and there, but who can be great every single game, every possession? And that's what I'm striving for.
The Aces now face the reality that star power alone won't save them. The once glorified privilege that elevated Wilson could now drive the roster into further disarray. With more free agents poised to explore their options and a lineup potentially stripped of its depth, The Aces are teetering on the edge of a crisis that even the most confident marketing campaign can't fix. And as the offseason unfolds, one question grows louder. When the dust settles, who will be left to pick up the pieces? The Aces might soon learn that privilege comes with a price, and it could be one they're not ready to pay. As if internal conflicts and free agency woes weren't enough, the Las Vegas Aces found themselves mired in controversy that further tarnished their reputation. The most significant blow came with the Dearica Hamby lawsuit, a case that resonated beyond the Aces locker room and rattled the entire league.
So the WNBA suspends Becky Hammon for 2 games. They lose a first-round pick in 2025 because Dearica Hamby says she was bullied for being pregnant, body shamed, just really harassed because of her pregnancy.
Hamby, a former Aces player, accused the team of retaliating against her for her pregnancy, a claim that didn't just raise eyebrows but sparked a league-wide debate about workplace policies and player treatment. The fallout was swift. Coach Becky Hammon received a suspension for violating the WNBA's respect in the workplace policy. For a team already grappling with public perception, this scandal confirmed what critics had long suspected. The Aces culture was flawed, but it didn't stop there. The WNBA's investigation revealed under-the-table benefits and possible salary cap circumventions aimed at securing top talent while maintaining a facade of compliance. The penalty? The Aces forfeited their 2025 first-round draft pick, a crushing consequence for a team facing depth challenges.
On top of that, the league is investigating the Aces for potential salary cap circumvention. Back in May, the Las Vegas Convention Authority gave each of the players an additional $100,000 to basically be active in the community.
These revelations added fuel to an already burning fire. Fans couldn't help but point out the irony. A franchise that once prided itself on being at the pinnacle of the league was now seen as a rule bender willing to risk its integrity. For Wilson, the privilege that had once elevated her status now seemed almost surreal amidst the chaos. While the Aces struggled with legal and reputational battles, she remained the brand ambassador, appearing in campaigns and maintaining her spotlight. The disconnect between her high-profile appearances and the team's deepening troubles only highlighted the privilege that critics argued was undermining the Aces' core. So where did that leave the franchise? With a tainted reputation, a depleted draft outlook, and players eyeing the exit, the Aces were staring into a void. The privilege that bolstered their image was now a glaring liability, and unless they found a way to rebuild trust and integrity, their downfall might just be inevitable.
We talked a lot of smack last year. I'm sure they heard it, and they got to smack us this year. So, for us, we will have a long off season.
While the Aces were navigating scandals, departures, and an identity crisis fueled by unchecked privilege, another story was unfolding in the WNBA, one marked by hope, unity, and a vision for the future. Enter the Indiana Fever and their rising star, Caitlin Clark.
The future is so bright, and our ultimate goal is to hang another banner in the field house. And our ultimate goal is to come back in here after we win that championship and celebrate again like we did in 2012.
The Fever's turnaround was not an accident. It was the result of strategic moves and a commitment to build a team-first culture. The return of Kelly Krauskopf as team president set the tone. Known for her role in shaping the Fever's past successes, Krauskopf's reappointment signaled a shift towards sustainable growth and leadership. Adding to this foundation was Amber Cox, a league insider brought in as general manager. Together, they crafted a blueprint not just for winning, but for redefining what a successful franchise looks like. The linchpin in this strategy? Caitlin Clark. From her first game, Clark made her presence felt, not just with record-breaking performances, but with her leadership, work ethic, and humility. Unlike Asia Wilson's spotlight moments, Clark's focus was always on the bigger picture: the team, the fans, and the future of women's basketball. Her commitment went beyond the court. Clark was seen engaging with the community, emphasizing that there was more to life than just basketball, a lesson instilled by her parents and one that resonated deeply with fans and teammates alike.
Honestly, it makes me smile in return. Like, for me, I'm just myself. That's what I try to be. I try to just be a great role model for them, and I think it speaks to how I was raised as a kid. I've loved every second of playing sports, but also my parents always preach there's so much more to life than just sports.
Where Wilson's brand seemed to hinge on her star power and individual accomplishments, Clark's approach was refreshingly different. Her interviews were filled with praise for her teammates and gratitude for the opportunities she had. It was a stark contrast to the me-first narrative that plagued the Aces. Fans noticed, and the Fever's growing base became more hopeful with each passing game. But Clark wasn't the only reason for optimism. The Fever's lineup, featuring players like Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and veteran Kelsey Mitchell, bought into the culture. They weren't just playing to win. They were playing for each other. This unity was the very thing that the Aces, in their star-centric bubble, seemed to lack. The Fever's cohesive vision was drawing attention not just from fans, but from potential free agents who saw a team with promise and integrity.
Something about the way she plays the game, her passing, her shooting, that people really identify with. So I really feel like we're poised and we're set up for a great, successful next era of Fever basketball.
As the Aces struggled with the weight of their missteps, the Fever showcased what could happen when a team puts collective effort over individual glory. The Fever's approach wasn't flashy, but it was effective. It showed that the future of the WNBA didn't have to be dictated by privilege and headlines. It could be built on dedication, humility, and genuine leadership. So while Wilson's privileged status cast shadows over Las Vegas, Clark and the Fever were shining a light on what the league could be, a place where talent and teamwork went hand in hand, and where players lifted each other up. And as 2025 approached, fans couldn't help but wonder, was the WNBA on the cusp of a new era? Led not by the most decorated, but by the most inspiring?
I think the thing about leadership is like how you approach every single person is going to be completely different. And I think the thing that's helped me be successful throughout my career has been the relationships that I've been able to build with people. And every single person you have to approach differently because they come from a different background, they come from a different place. Somebody can be a little more tenderhearted, and for me, I'm probably want to be screamed at. Like, it's just everybody's a little bit different. So I think that's what's unique about leadership and being able to understand people, but that takes time, and building relationships is really important.
The Las Vegas Aces' journey from champions to a team mired in controversy and internal strife serves as a cautionary tale for the WNBA. What once seemed like an unstoppable dynasty now faces a pivotal offseason that could redefine their future. At the center of it all stands A'ja Wilson, the player whose privilege and spotlight once propelled the team but now threatens to pull it apart. Fans, analysts, and players alike are left wondering, can the Aces course correct and rebuild a cohesive team that values unity over individual glory? Or is this the final chapter in their fall from grace, with Wilson's star status acting as both the rise and the downfall of the franchise?
We don't have it every year. It's not the way this works. You don't get to flip a switch. It's the beautiful thing about sports, actually. The work and the commitment and the buy-in and the play hard and the want to and the will always show up in the end.
On the other side of the league, teams like the Indiana Fever are proving that success doesn't have to come at the expense of humility and teamwork. Caitlin Clark's leadership is a testament to what the future of the WNBA could look like. A league where players inspire not just through their individual accolades, but through their ability to elevate everyone around them. For the Aces, this isn't just a battle for wins. It's a fight for identity. Can they move past the controversies and repair their reputation? Or will the privilege that once defined them seal their fate? One thing is certain, the league is changing, and only those willing to adapt and embrace a collective spirit will thrive. As fans look ahead to 2025, one question remains. Will the Aces reclaim their glory? Or will the league's spotlight shift to a new kind of leader, one defined by genuine leadership and humility? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.